Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today with, I think this is my fourth video, so my fourth week with the Dropham 78 Tarot Challenge, and I've still managed to keep up. I'm still enjoying it. Some days it's harder than others, and I wish I could say, I wish I could say that this fourth week that things have been getting better, because last week was a pretty good week. It wasn't a bad week at all. This week started off strongly but finished very badly. Yeah, it's been a very strange week. It's strange, I think. You know, I'm an INFJ personality type, and I've found a lot with me that what's going on, it's hard to explain, isn't it? What's going on in my emotional state and my intuitions about life, they're very strong things, but also is my sort of logical side. You know, I think INFJs are supposed to be sort of the more logical of the intuitive types, and I can often get caught in a funny sort of energy where my body is strongly telling me something. You know, my solar plexus is screaming, my heart is heavy, my body is telling me things, but my mind will argue with it. My mind will make excuses, will look for reasons, will tie me up in knots, and before you know it, I've lost sight of those intuitions. And this is something I think I've done all my life, and it's very frustrating because I often get so far into a situation before I will actually listen to all the signals that my body is giving me, and by then it's often too late, you know. And I think that's what's happened in this situation, is I'd been ignoring all the sensations in my body, all my intuitions, the heaviness that I was feeling. I'd been ignoring a lot of those things and trying to put a positive spin on things and carry on. And as I've learned in life, when I do that, my body will find a way to make me stop and make me listen. And that's what happened this week, really. I'm not going to get into too much detail of it because it's not really fair. I don't know whether the other person that I'm talking about here might listen to this video or not. I don't really know, but you've heard me talk about this person lots of times before, and my relationship with them has been very up and down for a long time. It's been a roller coaster, and it's made me feel unwell, to be honest. And it's about time that I listened to that, and that I had some, what's the word I want to say, that I had some courage. Yeah. Anyway, the week, like I said, it's hard because I'm looking back through my journal. The first few days of last week were very positive, and I've written positive things, and then the week turned out very badly. For this Sunday, it's obviously the Six of Wands, and my definition for the Six of Wands is sort of victory, admiration, public recognition. It's that Leo energy, isn't it? Success, triumph, having your day in the sun, achieving something, feeling validated and proud. That's my definition. And the detail of this card is I just sort of looked really at the honeycomb inside, that it's just so perfect. It just always amazes me, that sort of geometry and structure built by tiny bees. And it's like not one of them looks for public recognition or victory. They just cooperate and work together. I think that's fascinating, especially to pick that card for the Six of Wands. there's a victory here in the building of this beautiful honeycomb, but no one bee achieved that by themselves, did they? So my comparison and my discovery was really this horse is being celebrated and he has a supportive community, just like the bees is part. There's obviously a community here. And I just wrote, sometimes an individual's success relies on those around them for support and encouragement. And my day, I'd written, I've this is so hard to look back on and read. I'm laughing, but I could easily cry, to be honest. I've achieved much recently, both practically and in my relationships. I've been feeling more validated by a person in my life. And this is the person that I'm talking about, where things went spectacularly tits up, really, at the end of the week. But yeah, but I did also write, I'm definitely feeling much more sort of supported through friends and family these days, and that is true. That is very much true. I don't feel like I'm on my own in life anymore, and I have done at times in my life. So for the 7 of Wands, we have got the determined otter. My definition is defense, conviction, overcoming challenges, asserting yourself, not backing down, holding up against pressure. This is sort of your inner warrior. This is working hard. And the detail here is I've just written the otter's home. He's worked hard and been very determined to achieve this. And I guess that he may have had to defend his home against other otters. I don't know. Maybe otters aren't competitive. Maybe they are. I don't really know. In the discovery and the comparison, I've written here the orangutan, although perhaps confused, because he looks confused, doesn't he? Confused as to why he's being threatened. He is prepared to hold his ground. And I think I've written again, I think this card aligns with my feelings about the 7 of Wands much more than the Goliath, because the otter building his home there, that could easily have been a pentacle card, couldn't it? There's no signs of attack or defense here, just that he's building his home. And yeah, this card resonates much more for me. And here the energy starts to change a little bit already. And I've put about my day, there is one aspect in my life that I'm standing my ground against, and I've been trying to assert myself and hold boundaries about what I need in life. And I feel that the other person resents my boundaries. And I wrote, well, that's just how life is often, isn't it? People don't like boundaries often, I've found. Yeah, so yeah, the energy was starting to change there somewhat, yeah, already. It's weird, isn't it? In the space of 24 hours, how things can start to change. And like I said, I think that's not because something suddenly changed. It's just because at some days, sometimes I'm much more able to listen to my intuition and have courage in that, you know. So for Tuesday, the 5th of November, this is the meteor shower, and I've put for the 8 of Wands, the definition is movement, swift flowing energy, action, getting on with things suddenly coming together successfully, but also feeling overwhelmed and rushed, because I very much associate the 8 of Wands with feeling overwhelmed. I've put for the detail of this, just that the meteors are all falling fast at the same time, really. It's a big force of energy. It's overwhelming, it looks like to me. Yeah. The discovery in comparison is this girl here is bounding up the stairs. It's like she's almost weightless, isn't it? And it's like her inspiration and motivation to act has taken her over. And I think that the sun being there, the vitality of the sun gives her that energy and carries her forward. And again, I've found that this card resonates more than the Goliath. I like seeing the girl in control of her destiny rather than the meteors, which just feel like they're forces of nature falling and could be destructive. They're kind of, it's too much energy, it's overwhelming. So I very much like this 8 of Wands much more. George is coming in. Hello. And he's gone. So how I compared that to my day really was that I could feel that rushing quality very strongly. Not only were things starting to change in my personal life and I was listening to my body and my intuition much more, there's also that feeling in my life generally. You know, my mum is in for surgery this Monday. My dad is not very well. Life has felt hectic and busy and overwhelming. Too many things all happening at once, really. And I've sort of written, my head is buzzy and I feel driven to keep busy and keep going even when I'm exhausted. Just because some days that's easier than just sitting and feeling my feelings. So yeah. The Nine of Wands is Wednesday. And we've got here the darkness before dawn. And this was such a relevant card for this day. My definition of it is resilience, feeling exhausted, guarded, have inner strength to keep going, feeling constantly knocked down, feeling lost and alone, having to watch your back, really. The detail here, I've just put the branches and trees are oppressive. You can see the way out, you can see the light, but could you find your way through? You know, it's a tangled mess, isn't it? You can't see the way through. You can see the light, but you can't see the way through. In comparison, the Curious Travels deck here, it looks like she's watching her back very much. She's feeling exhausted. She's on her knees, but she's still holding her wand. Oh, George, honestly. But I did think, what is before her? You know, she has to move forward. She can't go back. She can't go through the tangle to the darkness. She has to move forward. So what is before her? And my day for this card was my mum, really. My mum and dad came to visit. And like I said, my mum's due for surgery on Monday. And that darkness before dawn just felt so relevant. My poor mum just looked so completely exhausted. So did my dad. They both looked so tired and worn out, and it was sad to see. Yeah, they've had so many health problems in the last year or two. It is just like they get knocked down and they have to get back up again. Yeah, it takes a lot of resilience, doesn't it, to keep going, really. And to be honest, I'm feeling a bit the same, really. I'm carrying a lot of stressors, and by Wednesday I was still waiting for my test results as well, and that was starting to feel like a big endurance. So yeah. So for Thursday, this is the overburdened beetle, bless him. This is the 10 of Wands, and the definition of this is exhaustion, retreat, feeling overloaded, taking on too much, the end of a long road, running up a hill, feeling oppressed and burdened, sometimes being unable to say no. The details in this card, I thought the thorns, the dung beetle can normally carry huge loads of his dung, but it's like the thorns are too much, aren't they? They're like a cross to bear. They're they're spiky and tormenting and not worth carrying, are they? He needs to put them down. And this was very much my feeling of the day. My discovery in comparison was that the stag carries his burden with grace, I guess. He looks sad, he looks tired, but I think I remember reading in the book that this stag knows that his burden is worth the struggle. It's his destiny. He can't do anything about his antlers. They are a burden for him, but he can't do anything about it, can he? The dung beetle could put down his load, but this stag can't, can he? And I just wrote, it sort of begs the question about why we carry what we do, why we put up with the things that we do, why we carry on. And I wrote, some things have to be, some things that are burdens we have to carry on with, but not everything. And sometimes we overwhelm ourselves with tasks and activity to avoid dealing with our emotions. And I've written today, I'm listening to my emotions. And I put, for my day, I recognised this energy in myself when I woke up immediately. I cancelled my plans. I said no. I put down the load on Thursday. I put the load down and gave myself space to feel and to reflect and to try and get clarity, really. I did get the results of my mammogram that day, and that was normal, and that was fantastic news. So that was brilliant. In all of this, some good news, some relief. Friday, this is the moonscaped messenger of the Goliath card here, this pigeon. And I put, this is the Page of Wands, and I've put the definition for this is new ideas, building confidence, being open and curious, full of positive energy, inventive, authentic, creative. It's a card of your inner child also, I think. The detail is, I've written the pigeon. Pigeons are tough birds. They can carry communications. They rely on their swiftness and their agileness, but they're essentially very tough birds. They're survivors. My discovery in comparison is that I've written that, again, the Goliath doesn't resonate with me in the same way, because the Goliath, it kind of represents movement, doesn't it? This pigeon is flying towards the moon. It's action, it's moving. Whereas the Curious Travels deck here, that page, it's like he's feeling the energy building. He's got his finger on that salamander there, that fire. He's feeling it building, but he's sitting with it, and he's grounded to the earth. So he's still contemplating the potential of acting. And I think it has a strong message of not rushing. And so yeah, again, I think the Curious Travels does resonate much more strongly with my understanding of the Page of Wands. I don't see the page as being full on action and movement, more potential and discovery of movement, I think. Does that sound right? My day, Friday, was a terrible day. But I guess in hindsight, it will turn about, looking back on it, to be a good day, a positive day. Not yet, it hasn't, but it will. And I just written here that something had come into my head yesterday. My intuition has been screaming at me for some time, and I've ignored it for some time, but it comes back, of course. And I've been talking to people a lot, sitting sitting within my energy, talking to people, trying to find clarity. And then Saturday, and this is the last card because obviously it's Sunday today and I haven't had my day. It's Sunday morning. So this is Saturday. This is the kind-hearted moose, and my definition for the Knight of Wands is courage, confidence, bold, risk-takers, passionate, likes to make things happen, full of energy and charisma. It's a kind of teenage energy, isn't it? My detail for this card is that the birds have settled on this huge moose's head, and he just looks very kind and gentle and friendly, not really full of fire and energy and passion, I don't think. My discovery and comparison here with the Curious Travels is that the horse and salamander really do represent that fire and passion and the urge to get moving and explore. This definitely is a card of action. It's like the Goliath has the page and the knight the wrong way round. Do you see what I mean? I would have had the moose as the page and the pigeon as the knight if I was to choose these animals, I think. I mean, I don't think I would choose either of those animals for those cards, but if I was to, I would not choose a moose, a very friendly looking moose, as the Knight of Wands. So again, the Curious Travels deck resonates much more strongly with my understanding of this card. So that's my week. I have no idea what next week will hold for me. Like I said, my mum is in hospital on Monday having an operation, and I do hope that after that life will start to return to some level of calm, and that my own problems will sort themselves out. I have had my test results back, and one of them, they're both fine, but one of them does require some more attention at some point in the future, which I'm not entirely happy about, but there you go. That's life, isn't it? And yeah, I think there needs to be some kind of space and healing for myself, and I think I need my friends, really. I need the people around me, and I need to keep talking, and I need to keep listening to my heart, my intuition, my gut, and maybe not quite so much of the logic at the moment, because I don't think that helped me in this situation. I think it kept me stuck, making excuses when I should have done something. So there we go. It's done now. It is definitely done now. And I'm here recording this video, for which I'm very proud of myself, actually, because it can be very easy, can't it, when things feel like they're falling apart in your life, to just abandon your routines and abandon the sort of commitments that you've made. And I was determined not to do that, so I'm quite proud of myself for coming on today and recording this video. But anyway, I do hope that everyone else is well. I hope that life is treating you all well. Sending you all my love, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.